Welcome back. I'm waiting for everybody to get back. Welcome back. She kept talking about my address and my zip code and my city. She's got a very good point because she pointed out that my zip code on my TikTok is wrong. I put the wrong zip code in my fucking bio. So now I need to go delete it and update it. And I don't know how many people have sent me shit that I don't get because I put the wrong zip code in my bio. Look. Come on. I'm so upset. And I didn't really want to talk about my city and my zip code and my address and all of that here in this live because this is recorded. It's not like the other live where I can just say it and it's not recorded. It's not like a live on TikTok where I can say it and it's not recorded. This is recorded, and I tried to tell her, and she kept pushing. She's absolutely right. I don't know if she's going to come back. She's right. The zip code is wrong, but I really didn't want to talk about it on YouTube. And I thought everybody was aware of my stalker situation. And I'm stressed out because my cousins died of COVID, so I'm not myself tonight. And I don't like people talking on my lives about my address, on this live, on my YouTube live. I guess I said that. We can change the subject. But I've got the wrong zip code. I've got the wrong zip code in my bio. That's what she was asking me about. I put the wrong fucking zip code in my bio. And she wants to send me something. And she mentioned the city I live in and said, "Is that the city?" And I just overreacted to seeing her in here saying all that shit in my live when it's going to be recorded and be here permanently. And I overreacted. I overreacted. I hope she's not mad at me. And good Lord, I hope people didn't send me things and it went to the wrong place because I put the wrong zip code. I'm panicking now. I'm like, holy shit, people are going to send me things. People have been sending me things. How did I get this? Holy shit. How the hell? Oh no, it is the right zip code. My zip code, never mind. I don't know what my fucking zip code is. I need to go look it up. Anyway. Yeah, you should have. I just overreacted. I could have been nicer about it. And then I overreacted and shut the live down. And it's yeah. Anyway. Rest in peace to my cousin Alma Lois and her husband Robert. They died in Wichita Falls, Texas. One died 3 days ago. One died yesterday. Both of COVID. In the hospital in different rooms. Nobody could go see them. And so, yeah, I guess I'm off my game because, well, that's the thing is that I haven't been close to my family for a couple of years. So, I mean, I heard about it from a family friend because I have pretty much almost everybody either unfriended or blocked. So, yeah. It still tears me up that they died of COVID. My cousin, I talked to her sister today, and I asked her, is anybody else sick or dying? And I guess a bunch of people in my family have had it, but these are the only two that died. No, they died on a respirator in the hospital, unable to breathe. Anyway, they've been married since the late 60s. I can remember them. She was older than I was, by about 6 years, about 6 or 7 years older than I was. And she got married when she was 13. She had to wait for her 13th birthday because in Texas you couldn't get married until you were 13. But if you were 13, you could get married if your parents signed for you. So she was 13, and she was pregnant. She was 12 and she was pregnant, waiting to get married on her 13th birthday. And she did. And they stayed together from the late 1960s until last week when they died within a week of each other. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. They were just babies when they got married. And yeah. Yep. I don't know. Anyway, so what are we going to talk about? When we left off last time, I got my settlement and hit the road. I told you that I went up to North Dakota and established an address up there. There's a friend in Colorado that I visited around that time. Wow, that's crazy, Becky. That's crazy. So, there's a friend in Colorado. So when I was converting the bus, I belonged to a school bus group. There were like several school bus groups on Facebook, and you could use the school bus groups and the websites for resources and help. And I was in a full school bus group and made friends with some people, and there were a few people that knew me when I lived in the farmhouse in Maryland. And a bunch of them said, when you get on the road, you're getting on the road. When you get on the road, stop by and see us. You can come, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, whatever. You don't understand. When I get on the road, I've got some serious shit going down. I'm not going to be going around visiting people. I've got serious shit to take care of when I get on the road. But anyway, it was just friendly. Well, after I got approved and drove to South Dakota to set up a address, actually, I started my own school bus group. The first year I was living in my school bus, and I called it Schoolie Nation, and so it started to grow. It was actually getting really popular, and it started to grow, and the people that I knew from the old groups moved over with me. Anyway, that's just details for later, because the group actually ended up growing to have 27,000 people. And without that group, I wouldn't have survived. The group and my dogs kept me alive on the road. And so I'm on my way to South Dakota. Actually, I didn't stop there on my way to South Dakota. On my way back to South Dakota, one of the guys that had been messaging me and commenting on all of my stuff, his name is Dave Durkee, he messaged me and said, I said I was going to stop at his house on my way. He lived in Colorado. Actually, he was a grower in Colorado, which was really kind of fucking cool. You have to understand, I smoked in the 70s, but the rest of my life I had jobs that required that I have drug tests and stuff. I wasn't able to partake in, well, you would think, but I'm a fucking weirdo. Okay, Holly. He's a good friend to have, but I'm a fucking weirdo. That's why I'm telling you the story. So, so, um, so me being able to start smoking when I quit my job and moved into the bus was new. And so I was, the last time I was able to smoke, you could get four finger lids. I mean, you didn't you didn't even buy it by the ounce. And so I was so excited, but also so green about modern day 420. So I was excited to stop at his house. He had a grow, and I liked him. I liked him. I thought I could, you know, maybe hang out. I don't know. I mean, I liked him. He was close to my age and all of that. And so I was going there with the idea that maybe eventually something could work out. I wasn't ready to stay there because I didn't know him. And I was on my way, someplace. I don't know why I didn't want to stay there. He wanted me to stay there, and I was like on my way past. I'm like, I'm on my way. Maybe someday I'll come back, but I'm not coming here saying, I don't know. I just felt weird about coming there and staying. So, but I did say that I did say that I had some stuff shipped to his house from South Dakota. I needed a new mattress, and I needed some other stuff. Collars for the dogs. The dogs' collars had stopped working. So anyway, so I got to his house in Colorado, and he lives out in the middle of the nowhere in the western Colorado, and he's got this cute little house that is painted bright green, because he's like 420. He's got this bright green. He's a dispensary. He's a medical dispensary. He had license to be a medical dispensary in western Colorado, and he had this really cool greenhouse. And when you walked in his house, it smelled so fucking good. It really did. It smelled so good. It smelled so good. But anyway, I was just weirded out. Okay, I didn't want to. I knew that he had a lot of weed, and when I went in his house, he had like a big gallon baggie full of it on his kitchen table. And I'm so weird because I don't know how to act about pot. Like, I am like such a novice when it comes to pot. So I'm just super paranoid about how to act around people. I just didn't know. You would have been tempted to stay. Yeah, I know. But I mean, I might have been ultimately talked into staying, but I just can't be. Yeah, no, no. No, I have to know him for a little while, even though he has this a gallon baggie full of weed on his table. I still have to know him for a minute. But anyway, I went to his house, and I visited with him, and I enjoyed visiting with him. And he had the stuff that I'd gotten, and I went in his house, and he said, "Hey, let's smoke." And I was like, "No, I can't smoke because I have to drive." Now I could smoke and drive, but at the time, if I smoked, I would have been useless for a whole day or maybe longer. So, I didn't want to smoke, but I would have bought some. I would have taken some from him, but he didn't offer. And he knew I didn't have any because I told him. So he didn't offer, and I didn't stay. I just took my shit, and I told him I'd come back. I fully meant that I would be back. Fuck yeah, I'm going to go back to Colorado. I mean, they have dispensaries and shit. I mean, I don't know why I said I had to go, but I only stayed I didn't even stay 24 hours. I got there, and I stayed for a few hours, and then I left. And I know he thought I was really weird. She really is. She really is. And so, but then, I was chatting with him after I left. I went to a truck stop near Denver, and I was chatting with him, and I was talking about, I'm trying to find a dispensary so I can go buy some. And he said, now this is when I'm 2.5 hours away. And he said, I would have sold you an ounce for $100. Actually, he didn't say that yet. He didn't say that yet. Yeah, he did. He didn't say it. He didn't say it at the truck stop. He found a dispensary in downtown Denver and sent me to it. Okay? Like, I didn't know how to find a dispensary in Colorado. So he looked up one in Denver and sent me the address. And he said, go to that one. There's a nice big parking lot right next to it. You can pull right in there. So I went to that one. They charged a surcharge for out-of-state driver's licenses. So I ended up spending like $500, $450 to get less than my allotment of weed. Okay? It was like, I don't know, it was crazy. It was a crazy price. So I went out to my bus and I'm all excited because now I've got weed. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I'm texting him and I'm like, geez, it was so expensive and they charged me extra for out of state. And he said, yeah, how much did you spend? And I told him and he said, I would have sold you an ounce for $100. And I was like, as if that wasn't, I didn't realize at the time that there's only certain shops that charge extra for out of state. Or maybe he knew that shop and called him and told him to charge me extra. I don't know. But I got charged extra. And after I got out, he told me how cheap he would have sold it to me. And then he went on to tell me that I was acting like a marijuana tourist. And frankly, it's insulting. I was acting like I was a marijuana tourist. And frankly, it's insulting. I was like, damn, when you gave me that hug when I left, I thought, that felt kind of nice. I'm real glad I didn't. Well, that's the thing, Jacob. That's how cheap it is almost everywhere. He sent me to the shop that would gouge me. Deliberately. I went to other shops. Eventually I figured out how easy it is to find dispensaries around Colorado. It's insane. It's super, super easy to find dispensaries. And it's so cheap. It's not that expensive. Yeah. They charge me double. Oh, that's great, relative ancestor. That's awesome. Yeah, so that was kind of shitty. I was like, that was really shitty that you did that. And then he called me a pot tourist. Frankly, it's insulting. And I really kind of liked him, when he, because he was, when he hugged me when I left, I thought, wow, maybe I could come back. Well, he made sure that shit wouldn't happen, right? You grow mold and mildew. Oh, that's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, but he sure did. His house smelled really good. Oh my God. Well, evidently it was me. I was acting like I'd never smoked in my life because I hadn't smoked like regularly since the 70s. After I had my daughter, are you kidding me? I never had money for drugs or alcohol. I never would have spent money on drugs or alcohol when I was a single mom. I couldn't allow myself to spend money on shit like that without feeling too guilty. In addition to not wanting to lose my job because I had to support my kids. So, but, yeah, so I really kind of was a pot tourist, but I really was a pot tourist. That's kind of that's what I said to him. I was like, I am a pot tourist. I am. I'm not trying to fucking hide it or pretend that I'm cool when I'm not. I'm not cool. I'm not cool. I'm a geek. I might look cool because I have a school bus, but I'm a geek. Oh, really? Nice, Linda. Nice. It's nice to have a friend in the Bat family. Now I have made friends with lots of people who have ample supply. I can't say any more about this. We have to change the subject, sweetie pies. We have to talk about. Okay, so the next thing on my trip was, yeah, I went to Colorado and visited my nephews there and my brother there. I saw him too. It's the only way to be. My brother who just passed away. I saw him while I was in Colorado, visited my nephew, visited my brother, gave my brother some money, gave my nephew some money because I just came into a windfall. I am so fucking generous when I have money. It is crazy. And people are such cunts to me when they have money. It's like, I don't get it. They feel entitled when I have money, but when they have money, they keep that shit to themselves. I guess everybody's got some family like that, though. Oh, it just makes you so sad, hippie chick, I bet. Oh, that's great. Trinidad, Colorado is really good. My favorite place to go in all the country, from all of my travels and all of the different places, all of the different dispensaries that I've visited, my favorite one is in Oregon, just about a mile, actually a couple of miles from the California border in Oregon. That one right there is really good. Right before you get to Brookings, on the right hand side of the road. It's not the cheapest, but it's the best. I really like it. When I have money, visit Maine. If I ever have money, I will visit Maine. They have some good clubs in Santa Cruz, California. Oh, I bet they do have some good clubs in Santa Cruz, California. Yeah. You picked up a bus for your daughter? Oh, how cool is that? Yeah, Oregon is really cool. I like Oregon the best of all the places I've been. I wouldn't really want to live there, but I love to go spend a summer there boondocking around. If I could go to Oregon and Washington State every single summer and spend the day working my way down the coast, oh my goodness, that would just be the best. I would really enjoy it. Anyway. Anyway, back to stories. Yes, I spent I spent 2 summers in my school bus in Oregon. The second summer that I went there, I went there through I went up through Colorado and into Wyoming and then into Montana and then across to Bozeman. And then I went to Yellowstone National Park in my bus. It was so bizarre. I got so scared. I am so afraid of heights that going up in those mountains, I was terrified the whole time I was up there. Even though once you're up in the mountains, it's like mostly flat and it's pretty calm driving. I mean, I don't know. I was terrified the whole time. It does do well in the mountains, but I don't do well in the mountains. I mean, I think it does what a diesel puller should do that weighs 23,000 pounds, that was born in 1997. It does what a diesel puller should, but I freak out. I stress out because it gets, it goes slow and it's bah, 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 and it's so loud and it starts to get, and it's like I stress out. I stress out. And then when I have to go down hills, I stress out. I am like, oh my God, oh my God. And then when I get in the mountains, I want to go in the mountains. I get up in the mountains and I'm terrified of heights. So the whole time I'm up there in like Yellowstone, driving through Yellowstone to all the different plateaus. Holy fuck, a school bus has no business going through all that shit in Yellowstone. You know, you should park somewhere and get you a nice Jeep and go drive through Yellowstone. You should not take a freaking school bus through Yellowstone. Yellowstone is serious, serious shit. I freaked out the whole time I was in Yellowstone in my bus. And I got so scared that I ended up not making the whole route around. And I took a back way out of Yellowstone and ended up taking the west exit. Yellowstone, first of all, is gorgeous. It's weird, but it's gorgeous. I think it's weird because it is a volcano. And I think I can feel when I'm walking around on the ground or driving there, I can feel that I'm on a volcano. You know, I mean, you can just tell it's not normal shit that you're on. Okay, it's really not normal. But then I went out the east exit, the northeast exit, and I ended up at the Clark Fork Gorge Bridge. And oh my God, it was terrifying getting to it because you're going right. Oh my God, that's what you think when you're going up the road. You're going up these steep grades. You think, oh my God, and it gets down. It's going like 5 miles an hour, and you're going, oh please, hang in there, please. And everybody's beeping their horn. You look in your rearview mirror, and you got like 50 cars behind you, and you're going, oh come on, girl, come on, you can do it. And then you get up to the hill and you have to go down and you're like, fuck, please brakes, don't catch on fire. And then you go up again. But this bridge, the Clark Fork, driving up hills to Atlanta, I don't know if she can do real mountains. We need to have her get checked out. I always take my bus to a diesel mechanic, a good diesel mechanic, to get a tune-up and a check over before I start into the mountains to make sure that it's, you know, in top service condition. I gotta let my... Oh, shit. We gotta go get Winston. I think Winston's stuck under the fence. Well, I haven't had to do brake jobs. I'm on your 55-inch TV. Oh my God, how embarrassing is that? I think Winston is stuck out here behind the fence. Shit, I'm gonna beat your ass, Winston. He is. He's stuck on the other side of the fence. Sorry, you guys. Winston, where are you? Winston! Winston! Look at Winston. Winston was in the bus. I went outside calling him. He's not, holy cow. Oh my gosh. Is it? I bet it is easier to watch on TVs. What did I do with my glasses? He wasn't even outside. He was in the bedroom on the bed asleep. I'm sure glad. I'm glad. I'm so, oh my God. Well, I'm so glad I took y'all with me. Oh my gosh, how funny is that? That was hilarious. Mm. Yes, indeed, Christopher. Oh, really? Holy cow. Oh, that's funny. Yes, the butter hag is baked. Yes, I might have burnt the butter hag. That's okay. You may see me tonight with an illegal smile. It is yogurt and fruit and granola. Oh my goodness. So, well, that was bad, right? That was hilarious. Now Winston wants to go out. He was back there being quiet and happy, and I had to go outside and call him. Anyway, so what other stories can I tell you about the school bus? Yes, I did. 350 set for 20 minutes? What do you mean 350 set for 20 minutes? Oh, you're talking about baking. Baking a butter hag? No, actually, I think it was set to broil this time. I was pretty upset about my cousins and COVID and unmasked motherfuckers at the grocery store. I mean, seriously, I almost cut a motherfucker at the grocery store today. Because I'm pissed off about COVID and... Oh, yeah, I had just... Well, that was the end of the story. I mean, that was the end of that story. I just wanted to tell you that he called me a pot tourist. A marijuana tourist. And frankly, it's insulting. Frankly, you need to get the fuck over yourself. Right? Oh gosh. Lots of them. So many. Let me think. Oh, I have a really good story for you. This is kind of funny. How do I want to tell you that? Yeah, I don't know. Winston! Hush! Nobody's out there for you. Hush! I know it's not somebody at my house. Nobody comes to my house. Winston! Stop it! Back up! Get somewhere, honey. You're not going outside, and I'm especially not barking. If you're barking, you are not going outside. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody, hey, gamer. So, what other weirdos have I met in my travels? Did I tell you guys about the time I got surrounded in Denton, Texas by the police? I don't think I did. That was bad, Jacob. Oh no, Christopher. Okay. Yeah, I was in Denton, Texas. It was really hot. I had to spend my first summer in the bus of 2016. Actually, 2017 was my first summer in the bus, and I spent it because I was seeing a psychiatrist in Denton, Texas. So I spent it. It gets to like 105 degrees in Texas in the summertime, and I spent the summer in my school bus with no air conditioning and very, very little money with my dogs, boondocking in various places around Denton, Texas. It was quite embarrassing. Anyway, because they started looking at me like I was a vagrant homeless woman. And I'll tell you those stories. I mean, my experience in Denton, Texas. Okay, so anyway, there's this little pond near the Walmart. It's a little lake. It's a community lake, and it's near the Walmart. And so I went over and drove my bus up right up to the edge and parked. It was a little dirt road that led back there, and it was clearly a place where you could go and park, and it said day use, so I knew I couldn't spend all my time there, but I could certainly go there during the day and let the dogs play in the water. Here's the thing that we could do when it was 105 degrees outside. I could park my bus east and west and keep the sun off the sides so that the solar panels would shade the roof, so it would just come up over the nose and go down this way. And that's what I figured out was the best way to keep the bus cool. And the panels actually ended up making the bus was always about 10 to 15 degrees cooler on the inside than it was the temperature outside was. It was still way too effing hot to be there with dogs. But so what we would do, I'd park next to the lake and I'd let the dogs go in and go for a swim, and then we would come back in and we would go sit on the bed under the fan and watch TV. I had a TV. I had electricity because I've got solar panels on the bus. So that's how we were surviving the Texas heat, is by, and it was my first day. Actually, it was my first or second day going over there. So it was great. The dogs could go swim, and I could throw things and they could chase them, and they get nice and cooled off, and then we'd go in the bus and turn on the fan, and we'd all sit there under the fan. I mean, I'd wet myself down as well, and we'd all sit there under the fan and watch TV, and just pass the time. And so we were there, and we're sitting there, and I had just, we just came in. The dogs were on the bed. I got a salad. I was sitting on the bed eating a salad, and I saw the corner of my eye a cop car go by, just out of the corner of my eye, a cop car, and I was like, come on. So I walked to the front of the bus. I was watching Judge Judy. I walked to the front of the bus and stuck my head out the window. And just as I stuck my head out of the window, this cop comes walking up this side of the bus towards the door. And I stuck my head out the window, and here I am, this old lady with my hair in a ponytail with a plate in my hand. I had stuck my head out the window, and he goes, oh, hello, I'm Officer blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, hello, nice to meet you. He said, can I help you? And he's like, I got a report of a suspicious bus at the lake. And I said, well, I am watching Judge Judy. What the fuck? And he's like, and he leans around the front of my bus and he starts waving all his buddies off, and I go and look, and there's like 5 cop cars headed towards my bus because somebody saw the bus there and reported a suspicious bus. I said, no, I'm just here. The dogs are swimming, and I'm back there watching TV. The dogs swim, and we're sitting back there keeping cool under the fan in the back and eating salad. And he's like, okay, well, you can't stay here overnight, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to the Walmart parking lot. He's like, okay, you have a nice day. I was like, okay, thank you. Holy shit. If I was black, I would have gone to jail, I bet. The very least. They didn't even ask for my ID. But yeah, somebody saw my bus, and I experienced that kind of shit all over the country. All over the country. I was just sitting back there watching Judge Judy, minding my business, and you got the cops called on me. That happened frequently. It happened more than once in Denton. I was at the Walmart in Denton, and that cop should have felt dumb. Yeah, that cop should have. He did feel stupid. He really did feel stupid. He did, but it wasn't his fault. People are just, and then I saw this older, middle-aged, sweater over your shoulder couple walking their dog like 10 minutes later. They were going to go walk their dog, and they saw my bus and thought, oh, I know he did. I know, Linda. He also posted it to Facebook. He just moved from Beaumont to Dallas. The other nosy as fuck. Anyway, so that was that. That was the cops surrounding me. But I was at a Walmart in Denton, Texas. This is another story about Denton, Texas. I'm at the Walmart in Denton, Texas, and I came out. Oh, and this people approached me about. They wanted to do a documentary about interesting people. And they saw my school bus, and they wanted to do this documentary interview about an interesting person. And so I showed them my school bus and interviewed with them and all of that. And they put the video together, and as it turns out, they were videotaping all the homeless people in Denton, Texas. And they included me in the list of homeless people. I still have a hard time fathoming why people look at me like I'm some kind of an aberration because I live in a school bus. I guess it is pretty weird, but these two punks from rich suburban Dallas did this documentary, which ended up being about homeless people. All of the people they interviewed were living on the streets, panhandling, begging for money. I was in that video. I'm not living on the streets. I'm not panhandling. I'm not begging for money or food. I'm paying my own fucking way. How dare they? How fucking dare they? This is disgusting. The way people have treated me, we're not very good at it. That's right. We're not very good. I think it really was. I was like, are you kidding me? You didn't tell me it was a homeless video. I would have explained to you that I'm not fucking homeless. I'm not. They, yeah. Yep. Then there was, Denton, Texas was the worst for assuming that because I'm in a bus. None of the other places that I went did so many people assume that because I was in a bus, I must be like so desolate. But around Denton, Texas, it was horrible. It was really horrible. I had the cops in Henrietta, Texas. They thought I was hooking. They thought I was doing tricks out of my bus. In fact, the more rural and redneck an area was, the more likely they were to assume I was turning tricks out of my bus. I'm like the last person who would ever turn tricks, okay? I mean, it's been since 2010 since I've been laid, No, I'm not out here turning tricks. I was really appalled at the way people pass judgment on me. Assumed that I'm turning tricks, assumed that I'm doing, it was just, seriously, it was disgusting. It really was disappointing, and it made me so, like, I just started taking names, taking notes, That's right. I can understand them looking at me like I'm different or weird, but to assume I'm a prostitute, to assume I am a full-blown prostitute, the police in Henrietta, Texas assumed I'm a prostitute. And that also happened in Montana. Montana assumed I'm a prostitute. A lot of the more redneck the people were that I encountered, The more conservative the people were that I encountered on the road, the more Christian the people were that I encountered on the road, the more they assumed that I was a prostitute. It really it baffled me. It blew my mind. A lot of people live in RVs, but they don't live in school buses. The more Christian, the more judgmental, the more presumptuous, the more, and I even had people, there were more than one people who invited me to their home from my schoolie group. And when things went south between our friendship, as often does when I'm unmedicated, one of the first things they said was, "I let you in my house. I let you in my house." Oh yes, but a tiny house is okay. A converted school bus is suspect. I let you in my house. Like, fuck you. Oh my God. I was starting to feel bad about this friendship going south, but since you just said that shit, fuck you. Holy shit. How about if I unload on you? I let you in my house. You let me take a shower in your house. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with living in this converted school bus. There really isn't. It baffles me that people, you know, oh, are you going to take a shower outside naked? You got a shower outside, you're going to be showering outside naked? I mean, they just assume you're a whore because you live in a school bus alone. It seriously, it just, I don't know. I'm so conservative, that's all. I'm sure that most people are not as uptight about that shit as I am, but I don't want every man I encounter sniffing my panties or assuming that anyway, okay, let's change the subject. um I was unmedicated when I was on the road in my school bus the entire time, and I am not the easiest person in the world to get along with. In fact, I would go so far as to say I am impossible to get along with when I'm not medicated. When I'm not medicated appropriately, I'm impossible to get along with. So the fact that I have a negative skew on memories is simply because, I think it's simply because I was so sick while I was on the road. And so things are always magnified and blown out of proportion when I am unmedicated. I have serious psychiatric issues that need medication, or I am just all over the place. And unfortunately, because of that, people make assumptions about me, because I appear unstable, that, unstable and manic depressive does not mean stupid. And people confuse that. Yes, I was crazy. I was crazy as hell, but I am not stupid. I am far from it. Is that the same thing your ex-husband told you? Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. A woman on her road, on the road on her own. Yeah, I think maybe you're right about that. Maybe you're right about that. It just really just, oh my God. It was just so, so disheartening. I wonder how all the women who are truck drivers and all the women who have to work at the counters in truck stops think about these truckers who assume that every single female they encounter in a truck stop is a Lot lizard. You know what a lot lizard is? A lot lizard is the one who services them. That's how they know what they are. There's a lot of lot lizards, though. I guess I don't know how frequent they are. My daughter has severe depression and had a full-on meltdown. It's, that's the thing is that, yeah, unless you are appropriately medicated, the full-on meltdowns are, for me, they were frequent. You begin to lose hope that you're ever going to be able to have any kind of a normal relationship with anyone in your life because you can't. The full-on meltdowns always. Anyway, I'm not like that now, but then again, I don't have anybody in my life right now but you guys, so I'm all by myself. Even Walmart parking lots around here in Oklahoma City. Are you in Oklahoma City, really? I have family in Oklahoma City. I have family in Oklahoma City. He had a no lot lizard sign on his rig. There are a lot of people who live on the road or in truck stops. A lot of women that live that way. I just don't think they should assume that everybody who they encounter on the road is that way. I'm not judging. Everybody has to do what they have to do to survive, I guess. I don't know. Hi, Daily Grind. Nice to see you. You grew up in Orange County, California. Yeah. I don't know. It's their loss, actually, I just don't want to go. It's real stressful to be on the road like that when you have so many worries, because on top of your worries, you worry about people treating you like that. You're not medicated, but my wife and 2 of my kids are. It makes me wonder if I'm the reason. No, you're not the reason. You're not responsible for their mental health. I mean, unless you're abusing them, and certainly you're not abusing them, are you? You're not responsible for their mental health. And if you think you are, why don't you try to get into some kind of therapy with them and find out? Oh, thank you, Vicky. You heard this story about my depression is, it has been because of the health care. My landlord was a member of my school bus group, and I had been trying to find a place to park in an area where I could get health care and medication and all of that. And I had driven back and forth across the country. I shit you not. I drove back and forth across the country looking for a place to set up 3 or 4 times. And I was so at my wit's end. And I put in a post in my Facebook group, my Schoolie Nation Facebook group, and one of my members, I said I needed a place to park. I needed a place that would be good for the dogs because they needed, room to roam, and they're not good with other animals. And I said I needed, an address. I needed to have an address and a place that has the good medical benefits. And Florida does all of that. And one of my members commented on it and said, okay, I got a spot here, come to Florida. And I came, and that's why I'm here. I am medicated now for my psychiatric disorders and also my physical disorders for the first time. My psychiatric disorders, I've been off medicine for like 13 years. So I was really, really bad off. I was in a bad way. I needed medicine bad. And I have other disorders that needed treatment that I was in and out of the hospital. I kept ending up, when I was on the road, I ended up in the hospital with blood clots and pulmonary embolisms and infections in my stomach several times. So I was sick on the road and I wasn't able to settle down so I could get regular medical help. Doctors don't like to prescribe blood thinners for my clotting disorder when I don't have an address and I can't come back to see them frequently. So every time I would run out of medicine, I didn't end up back in the hospital again with blood clots. And so I was really at my wit's end. That, and then I lost my entire family. Um, I had been holding on because I was able to go back to Texas and visit a few of my nephews in Texas and one of my nephews in Colorado, and um, I was on my way back to Texas, and I thought it was going to be the last time because I was sick. And as I stopped at their houses where they visited them, actually, I stopped at one nephew's house and I noticed that things seemed odd with him. I wasn't quite sure what it was. And then I went down to Denton and visited the other nephew. And he took me out to eat. And we went out for drinks. And then he took me home to his house. And he started jumping in my shit. Evidently my brother, back in the early 2000s, actually my brother, I have one brother that's really successful. While I was gone on the West Coast, my brother found out that I was hanging out with my nephews, coming to visit them in my bus. And so while I was on the West Coast for the summer, my brother had them to his house one at a time for dinner to visit. My wealthy brother that lives in Oklahoma. And he showed them what he said was an email that I had sent to every single one of his professional contacts, from his email address, saying all this crazy shit, and that I signed my name to it. But I sent it using his email account from his computer to all of his contacts. He showed it to them. They believed him. I didn't send any email using his email address and signing my name to it to all of his business professional contacts. I would not do that. First of all, I was never at his house, nor did I have access to his computer. That's number one. So how the fuck was I going to do that? Somebody that did that had to have access to his house and his computer. And I did not have access to it. Number one. Number two, I would not do that. Why the fuck would I do that and then sign my name to it? And it's from his email, used his address book, went to all of his professional contacts, and he's a big shot in the medical community. So it was a big embarrassment to him. My nephew couldn't tell me what the email said. Just all kinds of crazy stuff, he said. Just all kinds of crazy stuff. He got me drunk. Now, this is the nephew, mind you, when you go watch my stories about 1977. This is the nephew that I brought home from the hospital after my sister died. After my sister died in 1977. After they turned her machine off, my neighbor took me to the hospital and I picked up her belongings and her brand new baby. And that was the nephew that took me and got me drunk and then started laying into me. And anyway, I never did that. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have sent that. I did a video on YouTube telling my brother. What he accused me of was a federal offense. I have a degree in computer science. And when I would have done that, if he's accusing me of hacking into his computer and sending an email from his computer, when I did that, I would have been working for a very high-profile company where it was imperative that I not break laws. I took my oath to my job very seriously. I could not do shit like that. And he's telling everybody that I did that? That's a federal offense. So I made a video and I told that son of a bitch. I don't have any money right now, but someday I'm going to have money. And I'm putting you on notice, you rotten son of a bitch. And Troy Glover, I'm telling you again. Portia, let me finish my story, honey. Um, I lost all my family that day, Portia. Don't tell me don't let it bother me. It's my whole fucking family is gone. Like I was holding on to a thread for the last 3 or 4 members of my family that I could fucking talk to, and Troy went and destroyed that. And I'm stuck living in a fucking bus. Don't tell me not to let it fucking bother me, please. Anyway. Anyway, I told him, if you destroy that email after today, you'll be destroying evidence of a crime. Because whoever sent that email committed a federal offense, and it was not me. You take it to the FBI. You tell them that they need to investigate it. I want to know who sent it. You let me know which office of the FBI you're going to take it to, and I will meet you there. Do not destroy that email. Because one day, if you choose to not take it to the FBI, one day I'm dragging your ass into court. And I'll take some of that money that everybody likes to brag that you've got in the fucking bank. You are damn straight I will. And I will not think twice about it. And nobody in this fucking family is ever going to hear from me again. I am done. And I mean it. So that's why I'm finding out about my cousin dying from a family friend. There's a whole host of horse shit that's gone on with my family. And he broke my heart so fucking bad. And when my other brother got cancer and died, his sons didn't even tell me he was sick. I had to find out from a distant cousin days after he died. That's okay, Portia. It's really hard. See, Portia, I'm here to cry and tell my stories, both to get them down, to get them recorded, but also this is therapy. You know, I'm a good storyteller, and people like to hear my stories, and this is therapy. You guys are my group therapy. I can't go around people because of my social anxiety. I don't like people enough to be able to go sit through a group therapy session. So you are my therapy. I'm here to cry. It's okay if I get upset. That is part of sharing the story. I love you guys too. You just don't know. You just don't know. It's been hard since I moved into the bus, though. It really has. It's been hard. It's been really hard. There's been good things, though, but for the most part, it's been horribly hard because I was so sick. Unloading feels good, that's right. But I couldn't have done all of that if I didn't have the bus to live in. So let's not forget that. And while I was going through all of that shit with my family, my little school bus group on Facebook was growing really fast. And so it wasn't any time at all until we had like 10,000 members, and we were forming a network. And it was like anytime I got... The one thing that I didn't have to worry about while I was dealing with all of my personal emotional shit, the only thing that I didn't have to worry about was getting stuck on the side of the road, having something break and not be able to know what it is, I could post to my group and ask questions, and there were always, a lot of people ready to answer whatever questions that I posted. And so I really, when your family sucks, when you're sick, you need family. When you're sick and you reach out to family and your family's not worth a shit, then you build your own family. And that's what I did with my Schoolie Nation. People kept coming for me, wanting control, being jealous, starting up their own groups called Schoolie Nation. I needed that group to fucking survive. Everybody had their own idea of where Schoolie Nation should go and what it was about. And all I wanted was a nice community where people could help each other, not where anybody used each other to make money, not where it was all about your Instagram fame, not where it was all about how many fucking YouTube followers you had, but where you really cared about each other, because living in a bus is hard and it's scary. And it's a fucking dog-eat-dog world out there. And I preserved the integrity of that group. I would not allow it to be monetized. And I would not take any money. Absolutely not. Because it was there to help each other. It wasn't there. And so many people wanted to take it and, oh, I'm going to put you, one person who wanted it, oh, it's going to be so big, it's going to be so big. They were going to make Schoolie Nation TV and give this group to some girl who's going to drive around looking cutesy, wearing J. Crew stuff in a bus that she didn't even fucking convert herself. Looking cute. Oh, we're going to be Instagrammers here. We're going to make it Schoolie Nation. And they were trying, well, you can make income from it. You can make it was like a fucking nonstop fight. And all I wanted was a place to settle down so I could get healthy. And a group to support me while I did it. And people are thirsty when it comes to TikTok fame or Facebook fame or Instagram fame or YouTube fame. It is really disgusting. It is really disgusting, because I had to fend off so many attempts to take over the group and use it for somebody's own personal interest or somebody else's ideal of what it should be. I just couldn't. I couldn't get over how many people kept coming for it. How many people kept telling me what they thought it should be. I'm the one who founded it. I'm the one who made up the rules. I'm the one who nurtured it to grow. Who the fuck do any of you think you are? Seriously. The reason that the group is the most successful group in Facebook is because of how I run it. What the hell? When are you going to give me any credit at all? Oh, you're going to be the old lady who's crazy, who goes and sits off, posting pictures of flowers every day? Do you not realize I'm sick? I'm not stupid. If I get healthy, I'm a different person. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's the family we choose is not the one we're born into. That's right. And I love you guys. I couldn't have gotten through all this anyway. So, it's been an hour. And I don't like to let story times last much longer than an hour. Did you just see the Trump pants video? Isn't it hilarious? These Trump pants are made for sharting, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these Trump pants are gonna shart all over you. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It is horrible, isn't it, Vicky? It is horrible. It is a shame. But I put my hand out to a lot of people while I was sick. And it got slapped away so many fucking times. And I just smiled and said, I tried to tell you. Now it's see ya, wouldn't want to fucking be ya. Winston, don't go too far. Okay, you guys, I'm going to get off of here and hop over on TikTok because I don't like my I don't like these videos to be much longer than an hour because it takes 12 hours for them to process. I love you guys, and I'm sorry I got snooty. See you on the For You page. That's right. People are money hungry and fame hungry, and it is, and thirsty. They're so thirsty. They are so, I had to fight off so many fucking haters. But I got a lot of love and a lot of support too. So, anyway, I'll talk to you later. I'll see you over on TikTok.